and all my results for estrogen, testosterone, and a few other values that have been tested came back as my neck is getting a little bit funny looking, like a little bit like, should I get Botox? It's kind of like the entry drug to cosmetic procedures. I'm not going to the office today, but I still thought I would make a little bit of an effort because sometimes it's just nice. Hi and welcome back to another very ordinary week in my life as a 41-year-old child-free woman living in Berlin, Germany with my husband and our 2 fluffy cats. This week I'm definitely having a bit of a moment when it comes to the fact that I'm aging. Luckily, as I'm recording this, I'm already feeling a lot better about it. I'm honestly a little bit hesitant to put this out there because I certainly don't want to influence anyone to feel like they need to get Botox or any other procedure really. At the same time, it's just the reality that we need to come to terms with the fact that we are aging, and everyone needs to decide for themselves how they're going to deal with it. So I'm honestly mostly interested in hearing your thoughts on the topic, and I hope you enjoy watching. Happy Tuesday. I did return from my Switzerland trip on Sunday night and had yesterday, Monday off. But I feel like all day today, again, it's a Tuesday, has been feeling like Monday. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I guess technically it's an amazing thing because I only have 3 days left to go when it comes to work. But yeah, I'm still a little bit tired from the trip. And also I did actually call my doctor today, and all my results for estrogen, testosterone, and a few other values that have been tested came back as normal. So I know that you're not really supposed to trust blood work, but I also find it difficult to sort of distrust the blood work now that it's there. And I think that's only true for estradiol, that it could be normal one day and the next day it's like super high and the day after it's super low. But for me, I don't know. It was taken on day 5. It's in the normal range, actually normal to high range. And the same with testosterone. So I guess for now, I just have to sort of dial in my progesterone and just wait a few months or wait a few years until all the other hormones start to go a little bit wonky. On a different note, when I was editing my last video and also in general, I feel like recently I can really see that I'm aging, and I don't know how I'm feeling about it. Like for quite a few years now, I've had like these lines, but now what I've been noticing more and more is that my neck is getting a little bit funny looking, like a little bit like, and then also what only started over the last few months is that I've started to develop lines here, like I think you call them the 11th, and especially in the morning when I wake up, they're actually quite intense, and I'm not really happy about that. I feel like overall I'm quite happy with my skin. Again, it's not perfect, it's definitely aging, and I try to be chill about it, and I'm like most of the time I am, but I feel like these ones, especially since I know 2 people that are using Botox, I'm like, should I get Botox? Just to avoid getting these lines edged in. Frankly, I'm considering, like, I don't know, is that a bad thing? I guess that's kind of how it starts, but I feel like these are sort of just easy to avoid with a teeny tiny little bit of Botox. I can't do anything about that. I'm not gonna do anything about my neck. I don't really have many lines up here anyway. I don't know, it's crazy. Also, I'm getting lines like here. I don't know if you can see. Here? It's just funny to me because when you're younger, you just know that some people look old, some people don't. But you really I feel like, at least me personally, only now that I'm going through it myself, I start noticing the changes and what actually changes and what looks different. Like, I never noticed that people start to develop lines down here. I don't even know if you can see, and now I'm starting to notice them in a lot of people. You know, it's not a bad thing. It's a natural progression as we age, but it's just so interesting to see. On the other hand, while I'm noticing that when I'm editing, I feel like I notice it much more when I just look in the mirror, and I feel like editing sort of gives me a way to almost feel more confident than I would if I didn't see myself on video, because especially with like the kinds of videos that I'm doing, I'm just showing myself the way I am in the most like unflattering camera angles possible sometimes. Sometimes I see myself when I'm editing and I'm like, ooh, what the hell? And then I'm like, oh, Whatever, it's okay. So I feel like I'm just getting more confident, just not taking myself too seriously. It's just so weird. Like when I was younger, I always thought that I kind of wouldn't age. I couldn't imagine like how I would go from looking super youthful to aging. The process to me was super abstract, and now we're getting there. Anyway, I gotta change, go to the gym, take a shower, go to bed, rinse and repeat. It's Wednesday morning. I've had the best night's sleep. Well, not the best, but pretty good. I'm really happy. I feel so much better today. And I did sleep in this morning because I guess it's one of the rare times that I could even sleep in. And now I'm trying to get my breakfast ready. Today it's going to be oats and protein powder and soy yogurt and a little bit of fruit like berries. And I also want to do a quick cleanup of the apartment because it's a little bit messy, and I really like to start the day with a clean apartment, with an empty dishwasher, with a clean floor. Again, we have cats. It gets really messy really fast. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. And I bought all of these berries, and unfortunately some of them are already sort of rotten. It's Wednesday. I'm getting ready for work. I don't know what that was, but honestly, I've been obsessing over my 11th. But yeah, technically I really don't want to obsess about it. And I would love to be oh, I really don't care. And I also feel like on my channel so far and in general, I find it really important to not add to the notion that we have to always stay looking young and that getting older is a bad thing. But at the same time, I also want to keep things real. And these are just my thoughts right now. I'm I may actually get botox just to prevent these lines from forming. I feel like that's a very easy, albeit kind of expensive thing to do. And I feel like the only thing that I'm at this point would actually consider doing, and again, I do know a couple people who have done that, and I think it's also a lot about not peer pressure, but it becomes normalized, which again is probably not ideal. I don't know. Have you done any procedures? Anyone willing to share? I don't know. I still feel like, although again, I know a couple people in my circle of friends, overall, I would be one of the first to get anything done. And I don't know, I've always been a promoter of natural beauty. I use very minimal makeup. Also, I feel like just the fact that it's so expensive. I'm not sure I have probably 200 euros every 3 to 4 months to spend on my face. I don't know. I feel like other women do. I don't know how they do it, especially for people who get fillers and, dye their hair, buy really expensive beauty products, which again, the beauty products that I've been buying, my vitamin C and the couple serums I own, they are pretty expensive. They're expensive enough as it is. But that's really the only investment I make in my skin and skincare. So yeah, I don't know. Would be curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think that, once you start, it's kind of like the entry drug to cosmetic procedures? Do you think it's okay? I mean, obviously, in the end, I'm gonna make my own decision anyway, but I'm just curious to hear people's thoughts. About 6 months ago or so, I used to watch a few dermatologist YouTubers, and one of them said that people in their early 40s, they go through a phase where suddenly their face changes and they're oh my God, I can't recognize myself anymore. They're suddenly starting to look older, and I wonder if that's what's sort of happening to me right now. I'm seeing all of these changes and I'm ooh, I don't know. I still especially today, I think I'm ovulating right now. Once again, TMI. I feel like it makes such a difference where you are in your cycle in terms of where you look. Even looking at my videos just before my period, I look awful. I look bloated and just not great. And right now I feel a whole lot better. But yeah, so it's not the end of the world, but I guess I'm still like willing to take small measures to prevent things getting a whole lot worse. I don't know. Oh my God, I need to hurry. It's crazy, but it's been raining almost every single day. It's the middle of June and it's just raining every day. But yeah, generally feeling a little bit gloomy today. Maybe it's because of the rain. Maybe it's because of my husband / my favorite co-worker being in the office today. I really prefer when he's home as well. I think it makes quite the difference. I think honestly, if I would be just by myself, being at home would be a lot less fun. I just had my lunch. I did meal prepping yesterday. And because it's raining, I'm kind of too lazy to leave the house. And I also need to take a quick nap before joining my next meeting. But in order to get in at least a few steps, I'm just going to put away some of the laundry. And that way I feel like just doing work around the house is also a really easy and convenient way to get in my steps. But yeah, another full day of meetings. And then I'll meet a friend for dinner tonight, kind of on the other side of the city. Well, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing her, but I'm not really looking forward to travel through almost the entire city tonight. But yeah, that's what it's like living in Berlin. I think on average it takes me like 40 minutes to go to like most places. And that's kind of what I've gotten used to. But I think anything that's like 30 and below feels like a super short commute, which is great. When I was visiting my friend in Switzerland this past weekend, she was talking about how far her like partner lives, sort of just outside of the city. But then again, it didn't even take like 30 minutes to get there. And I was like, that's not that far. I've decided to go on a quick walk. It's still raining like crazy. It's gonna rain all afternoon, all night. I'm wearing a long sleeve, a jacket, long pants. I'll obviously have to take an umbrella. But yeah, I feel like I haven't been moving enough. I have not been doing any like early morning walk like before I start work. And then I can feel the difference. Like I still get in at least 6K steps, usually 10K actually, just by walking around the apartment, like going to the gym. I always do at least one mini walk per day, but just getting out of the house like before work does make a huge difference. So that's where or why I'm at least planning on returning to early morning mini walks. Anyway, gotta go before my next meeting starts. I just got home from the dinner with my friend. It was super nice. It was super yummy, but I'm so wiped out. It's like almost 10 p.m. I still need to take a shower. I need to play with the cats. And I do feel a little bit like I'm getting sick, like I'm getting a cold or something. I hope not. But yeah, since I'm not feeling so great, I thought I'd make myself my sort of morning drink at night time. Dried greens, dried turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, dried berries, apple cider vinegar, and then the latest addition to the party, lime juice and ginger juice. I don't know if these hold any nutritional value whatsoever. They are 100% juice, so I guess it could be worse. I hope that's gonna help me feel a little bit better. Cheers. And with that, I'm gonna go and take a quick shower, play with the cats, go to bed, and hopefully have a good night's sleep. It's the weekend! I'm so excited. I don't think I've been this excited all week. I don't think I've had this much energy all week. Suddenly I feel like Friday night comes and I'm like, woohoo! It's the first time I'm wearing this top, which I bought at H&M a few months ago. And I don't know, I do tend to feel a little bit like naked, uncomfortable with bare arms, but I don't know, I guess I should just get over myself. And these pants are one of the items that I ordered online. I really like them. I like anything, either solid black or a pattern where you don't see any like dirt or like sweat. So yeah, I'm going out for dinner with a friend tonight, and then we are going to the ballet, I guess, to the ballet. And then we're going to the ballet tonight, which is something that I haven't done in a few years, but the same friend is really into like professional dancing, so we've been before and I'm really excited to go. And yeah, then tomorrow is gonna be the only really hot and nice and sunny day probably of the entire month, to be honest, because again, it's been raining, and my husband and I are going to the lake. We're probably going to do some stand-up paddling, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then yeah, overall I think it's just going to be a chill weekend. Yeah, with that I think I'm going to end this vlog. And yeah, with that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. Thank you.